Today, we're diving into the secret language our bodies are speaking all the time. And our guide is the ultimate expert, a former FBI agent named Joe Navarro. You see, there's a language of truth that most of us, well, we've just forgotten how to listen to.
Just think about that for a second. Your coworker makes a promise, but you just know instantly they have no intention of keeping it. This sounds like science fiction, right? But it's actually a learnable skill. Because while words can lie and faces can put on an act, the body has a much harder time being dishonest. The man who said this, Joe Navarro, spent 25 years in the FBI. His whole job was getting the truth from people who were absolute masters of deception. So he had to become an expert in this silent language we all use. Why? Because, as he argues, our bodies just can't help but broadcast how we're really feeling. So how on earth does it work? Well, it all starts with a little war going on inside our brains. To really get this, we have to understand this conflict happening inside all of our heads. According to Navarro, pretty much everything we're about to talk about comes down to this constant internal battle between two very different parts of our brain. And that conflict is exactly what creates all these nonverbal cues.
So on one side, you have your neocortex. That's our modern, logical, and lying brain. It's the part that cooks up the fibs. But on the other side, you have the ancient limbic system, our honest animal brain. Its only job is to keep us alive, reacting instantly to anything it sees as a threat with a freeze, flight, or fight response. And here's the kicker. The limbic system cannot lie. So when your thinking brain tells a lie, your honest animal brain just broadcasts the truth all over your body for everyone to see. All right, so this brings us to the investigation. We're going to scan the body just like an FBI agent would, starting with the most honest part and working our way up to the most deceptive. And you might be surprised where we start, because the first piece of evidence is hidden where almost nobody thinks to look. So why in the world do we start with the feet? Well, think about it. For millions of years, their main job was just raw survival. Run away from danger and move towards things that are good for us. That old wiring is still baked into our limbic brain. And while we've spent our whole lives training our faces to lie, our feet, they're still playing by the old rules of the jungle. And this is exactly what our feet are trying to tell us. You've got happy feet, that little bounce we do when we're genuinely excited or happy about something. But then look at the middle one, exit pointing. The second a conversation turns to a topic we don't like, our limbic brain wants out, and our feet will literally, subconsciously point toward the nearest exit. And then there's the ankle lock. When you see someone do this, it's a freeze response. It signals they feel insecure or even threatened. Okay, moving up the body, we get to the torso. Now, our torso holds all our vital organs. So when we feel a little threatened, our animal brain instinctively wants to protect it. This is called torso shielding. So imagine you're asking your boss for a raise. You're chatting, it's all good, they're open, but the instant you bring up money, they pick up their coffee mug and hold it right in front of their chest. That's a shield. They're telling you, without saying a word, that they feel defensive about this topic. Now let's talk about the hands. Navarro says our hands are basically like a second brain. When we're feeling confident, our hands are out, they're visible, they're open. We might even spread them out on a table in a territorial display. A really powerful sign of confidence is the thumb display. Even if your hands are in your pockets, keeping the thumbs out signals high status. But on the flip side, when we're nervous or maybe not being totally honest, we tend to hide our hands in our pockets, behind our backs, you name it. Okay, here's a super subtle but really powerful one. Gravity-defying gestures. When someone is genuinely excited and passionate, their hands, their eyebrows, they move upward with energy, like they're fighting gravity. But if someone's faking enthusiasm, their gestures are going to be flat, low energy. They just won't have that upward lift. It is a dead giveaway for faked interest. Our fingers can give us an even more precise read. Steepling, when someone touches their fingers together like this, is a massive signal of high confidence. It means they are absolutely certain of what they're saying. The complete opposite of that is pacifying behaviors. When we get stressed, our brain tells our hands to soothe us. We might rub the back of our neck, touch our lips, or play with our hair. So let's go back to that car salesman. While he's telling you about all the great features, his fingers are steepled, but the second you start negotiating the price, he starts rubbing the back of his neck. Beep. He just signaled that this topic is causing him stress. And so finally, we arrive at the one part of the body we think is the mirror to the soul. But Navarro warns us, this is actually the biggest liar of them all, the face. Why? Simple. From the time we're little kids, we're taught to control it. Smile for the camera. Don't make that face.
Our face literally becomes a social mask.
But that honest limbic brain still manages to push the truth out in little flashes. First, there's eye blocking. When you hear something you don't like, you might close your eyes just a split second longer than a normal blink. Then there's lip pursing, where the lips kind of disappear. That is a universal sign of disagreement. And of course, there's the difference between a fake smile that only uses the mouth and a real, genuine smile that travels all the way up and crinkles the eyes. So when your boss says, "That's an interesting idea," but at the same time he's eye blocking and pursing his lips, beep. His words say yes, but his body is shouting no.
So we've looked at feet, the torso, hands, the face. It can feel like a lot to remember, but here's the good news. Navarro gives us one simple, powerful principle that ties all of this together. It's not about memorizing a huge list of signals. It's about just asking one simple question.
Your only job is to figure out this. Is this person in a state of comfort or are they in a state of discomfort? That's it. Every single signal we've talked about falls into one of those two buckets. Comfort looks like mirroring your posture, leaning in, showing open palms. Discomfort looks like all those shielding and self-soothing behaviors. The torso shield, the ankle lock, touching the neck. Don't try to be a dictionary, just be a thermometer. Just take the emotional temperature.
And this, right here, is maybe the most crucial point of all. The real beep moment, the key piece of evidence, isn't one single gesture. It's the shift. It's when a person goes from being relaxed and comfortable to suddenly tense and uncomfortable, right after you ask a certain question or bring up a specific topic. That sudden change, that is the signal you're looking for.
Okay, so now we know what to look for, but how do we interpret it correctly, like a pro? Well, Navarro gives us 3 golden rules to make sure we don't misread the whole situation. There are 3 golden rules. First, you have to establish a baseline. You need to watch how someone acts when they're just relaxed and chilling. That's their normal. Second, you have to look for clusters. A single gesture like a nose scratch is just a letter. A cluster of gestures is a full sentence. One signal means nothing, but multiple discomfort signals all happening together, that's a pretty reliable sign. And third, always consider the context. Sure, crossed arms could mean someone is defensive, or it could just mean the room is cold. Context is everything. But after giving us all this incredible insight, Navarro ends with what is probably the most important warning of all. This knowledge, this power, it isn't for judging people or for playing mind games. It's for understanding them. It tells you how someone is feeling, not why. That discomfort you're seeing could be because they're lying, sure, or it could be that they're just really nervous or had a bad morning. The real goal here isn't to catch people out, but to use these insights to make the people around you feel more comfortable, more seen, and more understood. At the end of the day, it's a tool for empathy. So the next time you're in a conversation, try not to just listen to the words being said. Watch the feet. Notice the hands. Read that quiet, unspoken story the body is telling you. Because sometimes the most important truths are hidden where no one is looking.